Something borrowed, something blue. Give us all your juicy news, sensational, irrational. It's Wedding Confessionals.
Okay, you ready?
Ready.
I don't know why I always get pre-show jitters. I'm like, don't fuck it up. Don't fuck
It's
it
not
up.
like we can't re-record.
Don't fuck it up.
Do you cut around or usually you just go right on through it?
Well, now I'm just going to start.
Yeah.
Welcome to another episode of Wedding Confessionals. I'm Brooke.
And I'm Pam.
And the only thing we love more than weddings.
It's talking shit about weddings.
I do love talking shit about weddings.
Yeah, that's what we like to do.
I want to tell you a silly story first.
Okay.
I usually don't have silly stories now, but a silly one happened.
Okay.
So I went to the Janelle Monáe concert.
Yeah.
If you guys don't know who Janelle Monáe is, bonus bridal break, look her up. She's fantastic.
She's amazing.
Yeah, she's awesome. And she had a concert at the Greek Theater. Mm-hmm. And I went with my friend Andy, who's been on the show. Andrea. I don't know if she go by Andy or Andrea on the show.
She did our theme song.
I know, but
the
yes,
audience knows her as that.
Yeah, her last name's Schreier, but I always call her Andrea, but everyone else calls her Andy. I don't know. I've always called her Andrea. It's very formal. Yes. Anyway, so the two of us and her friend Danny, who I sort of have met like once or twice, but we're not really super tight. Anyway, after the concert, we're taking this long walk down the hill because anyone from LA knows that you do not park at the Greek Theater. You are a sucker because getting out is like a pain in the ass. Instead, we just walk through this really fancy neighborhood. Mm-hmm. First of all, I don't know why anybody with a fancy house buys a house on that street. Neighborhood.
Yeah.
It's like, honestly,
it's true.
It's just drunk idiots walking back down that hill getting their Ubers.
Yep. It is
now. 3 times a week.
Oh.
How much you pay for that $1 million house or whatever? It's got to be more than $1 million.
Oh, couple.
These are like couple.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, listen, clearly I should work in real estate because I'm giving you guys hot tips. Anyway, so we're on the way down the hill and we're just shooting the shit or whatever after the concert. And this chick, Danny, says, you know what, Brooke? I really like your voice. I'm like, oh, okay, thank you. She's like, you should do something. I don't know. Maybe you have this voice that sounds like you know what you're talking about. Like you should give people advice.
What?
And Andrea's like, yes, Brooke has already found her calling.
Actually.
So who knew? She's like, yeah, even if you don't know what you're talking about, it sounds like you do. So maybe I'm giving terrible advice and no one will ever know. I have this very
really
soothing,
possible.
bassy voice.
Yes.
So I just wanted to tell you that because that was funny because it came completely unprompted. She had no idea about the podcast.
That's hilarious.
So my voice is ready to give advice now.
I like it.
And also don't buy a house in that neighborhood.
No. Yeah.
Off of Vermont.
Is that what it is?
I don't know. Wherever the Greek Theater is, you guys don't buy houses near there. Hot tip.
But they're beautiful.
They're gorgeous.
Yeah.
And they're expensive. But they're riddled with idiots.
During the summer.
Right?
Yeah.
But the summers here are long, man.
Yeah.
Anyway, we talk about weddings on this show.
We do.
Welcome, guys. So Wedding Confessionals is a show where we have listeners submit their confessionals. Sometimes they're always anonymous. Sometimes they're questions. Sometimes they're rants. Sometimes they're crazy stories. But it's all in good fun.
Yep.
Yeah. And we have a guest on every week to help us read them and give their advice. Who is our guest this week, Pammy?
This week is my buddy who I have worked with before, and he is a television producer who happened to work on the show I Want That Wedding that is currently airing on TLC, Justin Wachman.
Hi, ladies.
Hi, welcome.
So excited to be here. Seriously, I was like waiting, been a Wedding Confessional listener, and now I'm here. So it's super cute.
Long-time listener, first-time guest.
Yes.
Yes,
there we go. Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah, I remember Pam messaged me when she saw on Facebook that you mentioned that the show was starting. It was like the first time we heard about the show. And she was like, yes, get him on this podcast immediately.
It was cute. You know, I'm an unscripted reality dude, and I love reality television, and I love TLC. I've always had some really amazing brands on there that I love. And being able to do like a wedding show definitely wasn't something I saw myself doing, but it was a cool experience, especially for someone like me who I like been to like maybe 3 weddings prior in my life. So been only like 3 in my life to like over 20 in 6 months, 8 months time was kind of crazy.
Yeah. So let's talk about the show first. Why not? Let's go backwards.
Yes.
So you worked on the show. So it's all wrapped now, so you can talk about stuff for the most part, right?
Yeah, I can talk about stuff. It's totally wrapped. It's airing now, Saturday nights on TLC.
Yeah.
Episode 5 airs this Saturday. We're super excited.
Really?
Yeah. I think by the time maybe this is going to be airing live, maybe you guys are going to be tuning into the finale of I Want That Wedding on TLC.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you got to see a lot of weddings then.
Yeah.
Because every episode is
It's 3 weddings?
Yeah, it's 3 weddings. We got lucky. Our finale is actually going to show you the wedding of the couple that got to go to the 3 weddings. So you actually get to see the full circle experience.
Wow.
Yeah, it's kind of cool because most of the shows that this season, you're only going to get to go see them visit the weddings. But this couple, we actually get to see them walk down the aisle themselves, which is kind of special.
That's cool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. My background is in visual merchandising, and I parlayed that into event production in college. So I had some, minor event experience going into this type of production, and it totally helped. I mean, I couldn't imagine like going into this type of show not knowing anything about events, because I learned so much, but I had some knowledge going into it that totally helped.
So I have a random question. So now that you've been to all of these extra weddings,
Yeah, definitely extra.
No, sorry. I meant like additional weddings that you would really like attend,
Right.
like around.
Right.
At this point, because I feel like by working on a wedding show and really getting to kind of come in like at the, you're getting to watch a little bit from the outside, but also seeing a little bit from the inside.
Right.
Is there at this point a specific type of wedding that you're like, ooh, that's the best kind? Like, do you have a favorite at this point? Like, give us your dream scenario of a wedding. It's like you watch enough backyard or like design shows where you're like, I know what I'd do with my house.
Yeah.
Totally. I think that the one thing I learned is that it's going to really all depend on where you're going to want it to be. Like, do you want it to be in your local city? Or you're going to do a destination?
But where do you want?
I know.
Do you want like 5 weddings now because you've seen so many? It's like they're awesome.
We need like 4 mini weddings.
Yeah.
No, I think, I'm a New Yorker. I feel like I'm an East Coast dude. So I always kind of saw like the idea like wedding maybe like on a rooftop somewhere. And it was kind of cool to be able to experience some of those rooftop weddings through I Want That Wedding.
I like that.
And it was cool to be able to like, be able to tour those like venues and see what the capabilities are and like what the possibilities could be. And it was really cute. But now that I'm out here on the West Coast, I feel like it seems like the beach kind of Malibu vibe is where it's at. You can't be in LA and not see a rustic wedding. I mean, I felt like it was like, from the East Coast we have those, but I guess we're just limited in time where, people can have rustic outdoor kind of, but here
rustic has to be outdoors for the most part, right?
Yeah.
You got to, unless you find like a vintage like church or old style barn somewhere, like if you kind of give that aesthetic.
But even then, a barn ain't insulated. You're not doing a barn in January in New Jersey.
You're definitely not. No,
exactly not the case. So out here, you see them everywhere, and it's definitely the most overplayed style, but it could be super cute. And if you have, a good event planner, you have great style yourself, you can make it really picturesque and perfect.
How big do you think is the ideal wedding? Your expert opinion now.
Well,
you are an expert.
Yeah, totally. And I feel like the cool thing is, and I'm sure everyone kind of knows this if you're planning a wedding or anyone who has planned a wedding, the more people, even though it can be pricier, you also get some better deals. You know what I mean? So you can have maybe 100 people at your wedding, but you're not going to get that 15% off of that, buffet, deal, or like that, maybe that chair option, or, depending on what other things you're buying for your day.
That's a good point.
That's a good tip.
You know what I mean? Because anything under 100, you're really paying full price, like for at these vendors.
Good point.
So a lot of these people who had like 200 people come to their wedding, they got a little something. But I think 200. I think it depends on how social everyone is. But I think for a wedding, if you're really going to make it a moment, I think 200 is a really perfect round
200.
number.
You get a full dance floor.
Yeah, full dance floor. Because you think about it, let's say you invite 200 people. let's really, like, I mean, ideally you would want everyone showing up, but I think what I learned from going to multiple weddings is that, you know, you invite people from out of town, you people from maybe other countries. It's just very hard to get everyone really there. You know, the people who are there, the people who matter, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. But overall, you know, you invite 200, 150 RSVP, and then you have the amazing 100, maybe 20 people that are there to say, you know, spend your day with you.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like
so
it.
I say go for 200 on that guest list.
Right on, right on.
I like that.
So you're at all these weddings. You don't actually know these people. Yeah. Are you still getting kind of emotional watching these ceremonies and these receptions?
Dude, so my showrunner, Jennifer Lang, she was a boss. And it was really interesting because she would have me, I would go up to her in different situations and be like, Jen, I'm crying. You know what I mean? Like, this is not supposed to happen. You know, I've always been a sucker for love, but I've never thought that I was really into weddings. And so, you know, it was crazy because I remember, like, in New York City, it was like, it must have been like 2012 or 2013 where marriage equality kind of happened in New York State. Mm-hmm. And then it was like, it was just crazy. And so thinking about weddings was never really in my wheelhouse at all. It was more of just love was kind of there, but I never thought about weddings.
Sure.
And so, you know, going to know all these weddings and seeing it, it's a really special time and it's cool. It's not for everyone, but it's definitely, you see. You know what I think was kind of cool after going to all these weddings? Not that you could see love, but love has a vibe, okay?
Yeah.
And so going to all these weddings, you just picked up on the vibes of the people who, like, truly did love each other. There were a couple people who were like, oh, I don't know if this is gonna happen. You know what I mean? Not our cast, but the people that we went to, you know?
Yeah.
Because it was real weddings, real people.
Yeah.
And it was just people who wanted to, like, share their special day of TLC, and that was cool. So, like, it was really interesting that we're meeting them for the first time. We show up at their wedding.
Yeah, that's really gracious. But also they get a cool wedding video.
They get a cool little wedding video.
Yeah.
I have to say,
cool.
that's the perk. And it was gorgeous. I mean, the footage was stylized and it was amazing music and editing. They did a really special job with the show, and it was really cute because it's a season one show. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were a really small crew, and we put a lot of work into it, and it's kind of fun. It's a cool.
It's really moment. Pretty. No, it's true because that's one of the things I like about the show. Not that I'm trying to, like, shamelessly plug you guys, but whatever. Like, obviously, I'm a sucker for weddings. I have a damn wedding podcast.
Yeah,
but getting to watch them, like, with beautiful lighting. Yeah, because sometimes at the end of, not to shit on Say Yes to the Dress, but sometimes at the end it's just like, now they're spending the money and they're sending somebody out to really shoot it. Yeah. Remember in the beginning where it's just like they cut to that last segment, which is like the girl in her dress on the wedding day. And it's just like someone's like fucking iPhone footage. Yeah, like, come on, man. It's all shaky and grainy, and you're like, I mean, okay, but this isn't really how I wanted a lasting vision. Totally. Yeah, getting to see this, like, beautiful lighting and, like,
we give them a little cute little package to remember, and I've kept in touch with all the brides and grooms and the brides to be, and the, you know, and everyone's super happy and excited to be a part of it. It's season one, you know, so anytime, like, a program's season one, you just really cross your fingers that you do it some justice so that you can get a second chance. Sure, you know? Sure. So that's what it was up to.
Fingers crossed, man, because it's cute.
Thank you.
Oh my God.
I love it.
Yeah, it was a fun little team, and it was.
And I'm
cool
the same way where it's like, if I see a wedding, I mean, obviously I like weddings, but I will see, you know, if you see somebody, like, coming out of somewhere and it's clearly that it's like a wedding. Yeah, I always lose my mind. Like, I'm always like, pull over. Exciting, like, I want to, like, say hi. Like, I will say hello if I'm walking down the street. Like,
Of course you will.
Of course. Hello.
Yeah, of course.
I'll be like, you look beautiful. And they're like, who is this crazy blonde lady? Trying to
just so everyone who's listening knows that I Want That Wedding was a show where, you know, event planners took, you know, a couple to 3 different weddings. They didn't know how much each wedding cost, you know? Yeah. We tried putting a wedding that, you know, would allow us to come that kind of was in one, maybe the bride's price range or then the groom's price range, and then one that's kind of just like maybe has like a special thing that they were dying to have, you know? Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so they went blindly, and it's really like an experimental show. You know, you're watching them guess what they think these weddings are cost.
And
you know?
I'm guessing too, and I'm always wrong.
Oh, I'm terrible at guessing.
Terrible at guessing.
Oh my God. It was so funny because I was in Whole Foods the other day, and it was
somebody getting married in Whole Foods?
No, but I was in Pasadena, and I was hearing someone talk about the show, and I just
so excited.
I got so excited because it's just not like, you don't think that people are really watching a season 1 show, but they are, and she was in line. We were by the sushi, and I had to say, so you're watching, and and I didn't tell her who I was, like I didn't tell her how I was affiliated or anything, but I just wanted to like kind of like talk to her, and she was like, I didn't like the chairs in the first wedding on episode 2. Everyone has opinions.
Oh yeah,
and
so that's why we have a podcast.
Yeah. It was kind of fun to like hear that people are watching along, guessing along, and just enjoying it. It's wedding porn, you know what I mean? It's full on.
Yes.
It's the dress, and it's the DJs, and it's the
you
it's
get
everything.
to judge the whole thing, not just the dress.
You get to judge the whole thing.
But it's one of those things where it doesn't feel like it's mean judging. It's just kind of like, what's your personal taste? Because it's not like any of the weddings that they're doing are wrong.
Yeah, no.
It's just kind of everyone's different, which is the whole freaking point.
Exactly.
Yes.
And I think it's a key that I didn't realize, and I think it's been around forever, but it's such a millennial thing to really kind of, I don't know, amplifies, which is like DIY, do it yourself.
Yeah.
And everyone's been doing it themselves forever, but DIY is just such a push that these millennials really like. They really do it themselves, or they make the bridesmaids do it. Yeah, Pinterest is a big thing.
Yeah.
It really sparks their their creative energy nowadays, and keeps them organized, I guess. But it's interesting to see how these brides do it. It's a thing.
It's a feat, man.
Yes.
It is.
Good God.
It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Yes. Well, that was the one thing, a lot of the times, this is some spill. This is stuff that probably hasn't even aired in the show. And it's like a lot of the times the brides at the end of like the night would want to give the other brides and the grooms like some tips on like,
oh, fun.
Yeah. So you'll catch it with like 1 or 2 of the weddings that you go to in one of our episodes. But like we got tons and tips, obviously, days of the weddings. And and one of the most tips that was like, across the board on all the weddings was like, don't be afraid to ask for help. You know what I mean? Like brides think they really, brides have to just kind of like take a deep breath. And not just brides. Anyone who's getting married needs to just like take a deep breath and know that they can call upon maybe their people from their wedding party or their family, and you can totally do it yourself. But if you need like an extra help, ask. It's your day. You're spending money on bringing people together to celebrate you guys and your love. Like, at least you can do is ask someone to help you like hot glue some centerpieces together. Yeah,
especially too, like rather than have the panic attack, ask people early. Because if you ask them way in advance, like
don't wait
no
last
one's
minute.
gonna say no. And also, people love feeling like a hero. People love being like, oh, I'll save the day.
I love
Give
a
me
good
that
hero.
hot glue gun.
I love a good hero.
Right?
Yeah,
I'll put on my cape.
Yeah, but you can make an event and have a night of drinking wine
and please
putting some centerpieces together.
Oh, I thought it was just drinking wine.
Yeah.
Oh, well, there's that too.
Yeah, no. Any opportunity to drink and be crafty, I think, is a good night. But I think that literally,
I worry near the end that glue gun's going to be getting a little messy, though.
Yeah.
Third glass.
True.
Right. Shaking hand, trying to figure.
Gluing your fingers together, not pretty.
So funny.
So we went backwards with him.
I know, we did.
We had to start from the beginning. I think it's good because I want to talk about the show.
Well, I appreciate talking about the show.
Skip to the fun part.
I love this show. I am in. But the way that our show works is we have to learn. Clearly, we've got a little snippet. Obviously, you've worked on a wedding show.
Yes.
You also mentioned this thing about event planning that I want to get back to because that sounds super interesting.
Yeah.
So back into the time machine to when you were just a wee boy.
Yes.
Do you said only 3 weddings. How old were you when you went to your first wedding?
I have to say, I guess my first memory of a wedding is my Uncle Mark. And he was getting married to his now still wife, Christina, who's fabulous. And they have 2 children who are delicious. And so I was part of the wedding party. To be honest, I do forget what I was. I definitely played a role. They gave me a suit. All my other female cousins were like maybe 7, 6.
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah, definitely first.
Okay.
Like first.
So you were either like a ring bearer or something.
I definitely did. They gave someone else to hold the ring. I knew I was pissed about that. I feel like I had to be pissed about that. I definitely wanted a bigger role than that was given, but it was a fabulous wedding. And then the second wedding, I guess, I guess I'm thinking of something more recent. I have to say that my girlfriend Tracy Lowy is getting married in September. I'm super excited. She's one of the first, one of my girlfriends got married this past Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
But this is like my second girlfriend who I'm obsessed with, who I went to college with, who just is like one of the loves of my life. And she's getting married to this amazing guy named Mark. They met abroad. And so they're getting married in Palm Springs in September.
Ooh,
and it's
fun.
the first time that I'm really, it's like I saw one of my friends in Thanksgiving, but this is like one of my college girls, and seeing her kind of get to that stage of her life. It's very cool.
Do you remember when they met?
I do. I remember when she brought him back into town because I believe he was a West Coast boy. Or he was somewhere else going to school.
When did a Starburst get onto our table?
I found it in my pocket, and
I'm like, why is there?
I found it in my pocket. And I've been doing.
You're so magical.
I've been debating
Justin,
putting it in my
pull
mouth.
Out candy like you're Santa. I'm sorry,
it's matching the rosé.
You were mid conversation.
No, I forgot.
Looked down. I'm like, why is there candy?
I forget what I was.
You're talking about your friend Palm Springs and when she met the boy.
Oh yes, she met Mark.
Yes,
well, no,
Mark.
they met abroad. I believe. Oh my God, she's probably gonna text me. She's like, Justin, you got our story completely wrong.
She'll just have to come on this show.
Yeah, no, you definitely have to have her. Let her call in because she's fabulous. And so they're coming out here for their wedding. She planned it all.
Wait, so she's not a California girl?
No, right now they're in New York City. She's a Jersey girl,
But
been
they
in
chose
Manhattan.
Wait, because you're from
Springs?
Jersey.
I'm from Jersey. Yeah, she's more like central
Where'd you
northern
go to
Jersey.
college then?
I went to school in Manhattan,
Okay.
Midtown. I went to a fashion business school.
Cool.
Yeah, LIM college. It was like a really cool moment. It was like if FIT had like a business program.
Oh.
Yeah, because FIT
Nice.
you can get like an art degree.
Yeah.
And this college, it was
More
kind
the
of
business
fun.
end.
Yeah, you got a BBA,
Hey, man.
so it was kind of fun to be able to kind of see that side of the industry. And
That's very
because
cool.
not
Yeah.
everyone can sketch, and not everyone is a merchandiser. You know what I
Sure.
mean? So to be able to go and see the management side of the business was kind of cool. And
That's
so I loved it. It was
very
a 4-year
cool.
school. I met Miss Tracy, and so she went abroad junior year, met him. Thought it was just a fling. A lot of my girlfriends met people abroad and they were just had those
Sure.
moments. Or just at least in college.
Locationship.
Yeah.
Ooh, a location ship. I like that.
I like that. You could tell that they were into each other. And then, I remember when Mark first came to New York and I literally I took a picture of them that day when he first came. Their first day together in New York.
Is he European or is
He's
he
not
also...
European. He's a West Coast dude. I believe he's a California dude, but they just
But they
both were in the
met.
same abroad program.
Wow.
Yeah, completely didn't know each
Cool.
other. I think they might have had some mutual friends, but it
it.
clicked and it was one of those things. I have a couple girlfriends that have been in long relationships, but Tracy's one of those girls that I got to kind of see the relationship start, and from a distance I got to see it bloom into something super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just dope to see two people really mesh together, cohabitate together, and now kind of start this next journey. Yeah, and she's a good girl. They're both good people, so I'm super stoked for them. My girlfriend Jackie from high school, she just got engaged to her boyfriend that she met my senior year of high school. So they've been
What?
together
Wow.
ever since. Yeah, and they're just engaged, and they went abroad on a trip and they celebrated. I'm at the time of my.
You're going to start going to
Yeah,
all
a lot
your
of weddings.
That's the
Yep.
that's the time I am in
It's
that time, I guess.
beginning.
Well, I went to the most fabulous wedding in Mexico last Thanksgiving, and that was my girlfriend Fernanda, who I met in New York City. We did a summer program together, and I've been friends with her ever since.
You guys have really good location weddings.
I know.
Yeah,
you
well,
can
she's
travel.
from she's in at the time she was living in Mexico City.
Yeah.
And now she's living in another amazing city in Mexico. And so she celebrated, we were in Guanajuato, and
Sorry,
it was
I think Ruth wants to join to hear about
Come
your
on in,
Mexican
Ruth.
wedding. Hi, Ruth.
it just was, it couldn't have been more fabulous.
Oh.
From the most vintage church on the top of a mountain,
Stop.
to her gorgeous dress, from her mother's dress, to the vintage car that took them from the reception to the ceremony.
Yes.
It was it was like an open pit
You love
appetizer
weddings,
cocktail
dude.
hour.
Yes, he does.
It was I think when it's your girlfriends, it's
Yeah.
fun. You know what I mean? It's cool seeing, and especially, and to be honest, this is throwing a little shade, but I'm not sure if I would go to all weddings of my friends. I think it's weird. It's one of those things that I do think it's kind of like a thing that I don't think it's one of those things I'm just going to be going to every wedding that maybe I get invited to. But for the
That's
girls,
fair.
but for the girls that I love,
You
it's
love
kind
them,
of a
yeah,
cool,
of course.
it's kind of a cool moment.
It's
And
Yeah.
it just so happens that the girls that are now getting married are girls who have been in really long relationships. And it's kind of cool. It's inspiring because really even people my age, they don't stay together that long. And so to be able to make it through the beginning of your 20s and to end your 20s in like an engagement, like that's kind of cool. So I give mad props to all the girls.
Some people do, some people don't.
Yeah, I have a lot of, I live the single life, and I think a lot of people, I have some girlfriends who literally have no, idea of marriage on the horizon. They're not even thinking about it.
Yeah.
And it's totally okay. It's amazing.
Totally okay.
My sister is, I think, might be turning into one of them, which gets me nervous because I would love to see her like super happy. I mean, she'll be super happy with someone, but to see her like at a wedding moment would be like, a big brother, gay brothers, dream. I've been thinking about the makeup. She's a glam girl. She's super cool, but no, she's in the stage right now where she's like, no weddings, and I just have to like love her for it. She's looking up to that Chelsea Handler. Do you guys listen to Chelsea?
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, so I read her books, and I was a fan of all of her, shows. But she really preaches that, love yourself first. You don't need a man. I think she's anti-children. So she's a whole bunch.
The idea of being like, well, I will say I like the age that we're living in now, where you get married if you meet somebody who you really want to marry, and not like you meet somebody when it's the time you should get married.
I agree.
Because then you end up in these relationships where you're just like, this is a bad idea.
Totally.
And
I
it's
think,
just like,
I think
it's really cool that people just like aren't settling.
Totally.
Right?
Because I think it's cool that I feel like people don't think they need to get married.
Yes.
If it happens, and that will be amazing.
Yes,
definitely.
It's not like a thing that I don't think a lot of people are thinking like, oh my God, I need to get married.
Well, imagine us. We host a wedding podcast. Do you know any people who hear that who just think that I'm Miss Judgy McJudgerson who just expects everyone has to get married and why aren't you married? Which isn't true at all.
Yeah.
The whole point of the podcast is just the wedding experience exists in society, so we like to talk about it in general. Like we talk to people like you're single. It's like it's totally cool.
I didn't think I was going to get married.
I distinctly remember Pam.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh,
I remember you once literally singing the words, I never get married.
That's
I never
right.
get married.
Yep.
It's also when I said I'm never going to cut my hair.
That's right.
That was the thing I loudly proclaimed, and then 5 years later chopped all of my hair off.
Too much.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hey man, do it, don't, but please don't feel like you need to marry somebody just because they're in front of you.
Oh my God, tell me about it. Or even let's just talk about dating. Like you don't got to do that either. If they're right in front of you, like
just do whatever makes you happy.
It's been crazy. I've dated in New York. I dated in New York City for over 5 years, and now I'm coming up on my third year in LA, dating in LA, and I didn't really get a stint to really date in Jersey, but it's to be in like two of like the largest cities in the country and be able to be in the dating pool. It's crazy, and to have all my girlfriends going through it too. And we're in the age of online dating. I still really am an advocate of just going out to the bar and trying to find someone to spark conversation with.
Organically.
Just organic moment. Like try to do like a wine dinner. Like, just trying to change stuff up.
Sure.
That's what I tell people. Like if you're really not finding like new people, it's probably because you're probably doing the same thing day in and day out. So like switch it up once in a while and change the crowd. And hopefully you can like... I've had some really crazy dates in LA. So it's like, it's crazy. And that's why I think when I tell you like these girls that are sticking out with the boyfriends, it is so good to see because the struggle is real. So when you find someone that gets you to that level, it's kind of magic and it's cool.
Oh, swoon.
Aww.
Yeah.
Love.
You guys are through it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we're on the other side.
Yeah.
Don't worry. We dated our fair share of clowns.
There you go.
Yep.
No, I guess it's always good to have some stories.
Listen,
but
you gotta sow those oats. You gotta, what was it? I think it's a Liz Phair song. I don't remember the name of it, but the line she sings is "All those other boys were only practice."
I die.
And I like the idea of it, where it's just like, you really do. I am a firm believer. I mean, hey, sometimes it works out. You meet the love of your life when you're really early, but there's something about learning what you want in a relationship and what you don't. And also learning how to communicate, learning how to argue correctly, all that stuff. Sometimes you learn it the hard way. And that's kind of that's growth, man.
Totally.
So don't be mad at yourself because you dated a weirdo. We all do.
I love it.
God.
Yep. Truth. My hand is raised.
I know. It's fine. We all had our moments.
That's all right.
So yeah, those are like literally my only wedding experiences. I feel so bad because, and I think I told Pam this, I really think you guys should have her on, and she must be one of your future people call into the show?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, you got to have her on because I think I remember this was right when you guys first started, and my cousin was getting married, but she got married the day that New York had like the biggest blizzard in like New York City history.
What year was that?
This was literally
in January.
It was, oh my God.
Was it like 2 years ago?
Yes.
Yeah, Pam was in New York City.
I was there.
Oh, you were there.
Oh, you know what, Pam? Tell that story. We have like 2-3 minutes and then we'll get into confessionals. This is a good one.
Oh my goodness. So this goes back to Christmas before that January. And I got this cute little box for Christmas from my husband. And I opened it up and it was tickets to see Hamilton on my birthday with the original cast, and I was like, oh my
so good.
gosh.
I lost my mind or was very jealous.
And so as we got closer to that date, started realizing that there was going to be some snow that weekend, and came up to the Friday before, and our flight got canceled, but he was able to get us rescheduled. We got to New York. We were there Friday night. Saturday, all of a sudden it just started snowing. Like Friday night was fine, but then Saturday got there, it just started snowing and it didn't look good. And I have another friend, my buddy Eric Levington, he is in Kinky Boots, and he's like, no, you're fine. He's like, other shows will cancel. He's like, but Hamilton is never canceled. And he's like, the only thing that would make it cancel is if they shut down the subway. And it's like, and we found out they shut down the trains, and that was it.
It was a crazy day.
That was
They
it.
canceled Hamilton. The only night that Hamilton hasn't run on schedule.
Pam was there.
Pam was stuck in New York City.
I was
and you couldn't
there.
even.
And that was the original cast
dinner?
at that point too. So
It was. Yep.
God.
I was at the time I was living literally right in Hell's Kitchen, right by the theater, so I'm well aware. And yes, the trains were down. I couldn't make it to the wedding. So,
oh my God. Did the wedding happen?
It happened, and a lot of people.
Where was it in New York City?
No, I believe, if I remember correctly, it was in like a castle in Long Island. It was a very dramatic.
God.
Yeah, and they had gorgeous.
That ain't cheap.
No. They planned and Ariel, you have to have her on because she was a wedding girl. Like the day I met her on the beach. It was like Memorial Day weekend. They were just started dating, my cousin Max and her.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And she had wedding magazines, I think, with her that day. Oh. She was like a wedding girl.
I love
it.
Yes.
And so
she's been planning it since she was like 5.
Yeah. And she's beyond stunning. And so I remember seeing pictures after, and the one lucky thing that she did, she got the most winter wonderland photos.
Reenacting Frozen.
Yes.
Every beat.
Hardcore Frozen realness. Elsa.
Music video.
Yes. So it was crazy though. I think, people definitely showed up, but it definitely was hard because a lot of people were coming from Manhattan. And
that's dangerous.
Yeah. And you didn't really know what was happening that day. It was like you went to Penn Station, they said no. And then 2 hours later it was crazy. But hey, wedding crises.
Man, and Hamilton, guys, Hamilton's fun. And then years later, Pam and I, you had another Hamilton, and then one other time Pam wasn't able to go to Hamilton. And
but you went out there, and the show just couldn't happen.
Yeah, so we flew to New York basically to see the snowstorm, and the only good thing was that our flight on Sunday on the way home was the first flight out. So everybody else was trying to get their canceled flights rebooked, and we were able to get out. So I guess that was one thing.
Yeah.
It got what was the second? It got canceled again because
You
had to
go out of town for the tickets when the LA, and then I took you to Hamilton. Tristan happily gave up his ticket so Pam could finally see Hamilton. I
love it.
So I took Pam to Hamilton as my hot date.
You did.
And you didn't put out. Rude.
I was sick. And I was like, I am still going. And during the, shocker, the death scene, I was concentrating so hard on not coughing and blowing it for everyone else. Because I'm like, you were like,
oh
shaking.
my God, I've been in that situation before, so
that
I
I
know
didn't
it's
cough.
crazy. Yes.
At the worst part.
Don't worry,
of the show.
you weren't as annoying as the woman in front of us who kept leaning over to her significant other and saying, "Who's that? what's going on? What's this? And the best part was clearly neither of them had seen the show. And it is a lot of information coming at you at once. Like they're rapping really fast. I get it. And if you didn't like read a book, you don't know.
Check out the Wikipedia before you come.
But
God.
Come on.
She kept saying like, who's that? And he'd be like, I don't know.
Right.
What's happening?
Oh God.
I don't
Just
know.
enjoy the show.
Like, clearly your Broadway buddy you brought with you doesn't know. Stop quizzing him and making him feel bad. Also, now he's never going to know because you're talking so much.
Yeah, he's not paying attention.
Yeah, he's missing it.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Hamilton. That was cool.
Yes.
Such a funny story.
So on that note, I was ready to get into confessionals.
Let's do it.
Okay.
So listeners submitted confessionals, all anonymous, and all three of them are wordy.
They are.
So sit back, have a starburst.
As I pick up the Starburst.
Pammy.
Yes.
You ready with confessional number 1?
I am.
They're all long.
They're really long.
Prepare yourself.
Okay.
I'm going to swig some. I got a lot of. Oh, God, I'm out of drinks. Fuck. Okay, keep going. It's fine. I don't need any more.
All right. Well. Okay. Hi, Pam and Brooke. Loving your podcast. I found it recently and have been listening from the start in work. Everyone thinks I'm a little crazy because I'm constantly laughing with my headphones in.
Can I tell you that back when I lived in New York City, it was a real problem when I used to listen to any sort of like comedy CDs, because pre-podcast. And I always look like a crazy person on the train. So I feel you.
Feeling it.
Okay. The issue is kind of long and I'm so sorry for that. I'm getting married to my wonderful other half in 2020. Far away, I know. But I'm already having trouble with the wedding plans with a certain family member. Family members. Okay, well, one family member. My future mother-in-law. Woo. To put it simply, she's never really liked me too much. She's very hot and cold. Sometimes she likes me and sometimes she doesn't. Unfortunately, it's causing fights between myself and my other half, and that's not what I want. I should say I'm Irish, and there's a lot of old school traditions to do with Irish weddings, and my other half's family are very old school. Her latest issue with the wedding is that I'm not having my hubby-to-be's sister as a bridesmaid. I'm having 4 bridesmaids, which is an absolute max I wanted for bridesmaids. These are the only people I've ever wanted to be my bridesmaids. 2 of my sisters, my cousin, who I'm so close to, I'm being her bridesmaid the same year as my wedding, and my best friend. I'm the godmother to her son. She's kind of an honorary sister. Usually, the tradition in Irish weddings is that the siblings of the couple are in the wedding party. Now, we're not exactly doing everything by tradition. My hubby-to-be isn't having any of my brothers as groomsmen either. But my mother-in-law has taken great offense that the sister is not being a bridesmaid. Yeah, that's right. The sister's not upset. The mother-in-law is. I have a few main reasons for not wanting the sister to be a bridesmaid. Not just that I only want 4. It's just that I just bite the bullet and add her in, but she just turned 17. So she's a bit younger than me. She's also... Okay, I'll just say it. She's a spoiled brat. She screams and demands and whines when she's not getting what she wants. She's said some horrible things to me in the past while I was having some issue with the mother-in-law that she wasn't involved in and has never apologized. We're also not very close. Like, I'll ask her how school's going and how everything is going with her, but we're not that close. They're some of the main reasons I don't want her to be a bridesmaid. I don't want her to feel left out at her brother's wedding. I mean, it's her big brother's wedding, so I've booked her and the mother-in-law to get their hair and makeup done with me in the bridal party the morning of the wedding. I'll be getting her a corsage, just like I'll be getting both the mammies. We'll also be asking her and one of my brothers to be part of the ceremony by them picking a poem or reading it as part of the ceremony. Now, the mother-in-law has decided that the way to get the sister to be a bridesmaid is to bully me. We went over dinner one night, and she waited until my husband-to-be and the sister was out of the room to berate me and say some horrible things to me for not asking the sister. And this is not unusual behavior for her. She seems to think because I'm quieter and not as shouty, that's not a word, I know, but you get it, as she is. but that I'm easy to bully and do what she wants. Before this, my hubby-to-be had asked her 4 separate times that the sister was not in the wedding party, but we wanted her involved in different ways. The day after this awful dinner, my hubby-to-be, when he found out what his mom said to me while she was out of the room, called her and gave out, but all she did was trying to get him to bully me into having his sister as a bridemaid. I'm quite a chilled out person, and I don't like confrontation. It can be avoided, but it's not the first time I've had to stand up to her and say, stop being such a bitch. This Saturday or Sunday, hubby-to-be and I will be going over for a sit down with his parents to say, look, we're making decisions about the wedding and it's our day. We want both families to be happy and excited, but it's not our job to make her feel special on our wedding day. I guess I'm just looking for some reassurance that I'm not a horrible, awful person, and she's trying to make me feel like not asking the sister to be a bridesmaid. Any help or advice would be great. Thanks. From Sick of Being Bullied.
Oh my God.
Wow.
That was a lot.
So the mother-in-law
is a bitch?
Is a bully.
Big bully.
So, okay. So the question...
Yes.
Do you include her in the wedding? In the wedding party?
Sister-in-law to be is 17 years old.
Yes.
She will be 19 for the wedding.
Yes.
And she is trying to figure out how to not include this 19-year-old in the wedding because she doesn't want her there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And
no,
we're 2 years out.
Part of the wedding. She
no,
wants
she doesn't
to
want to be in the bridesmaid. She doesn't want to be a bridesmaid. Okay. And she's trying to say, like, am I being an a-hole because I'm not really down with having this
But
girl
it
in my
seems like
wedding?
she's down to, like, kind of give her, like, another role that's not so bridesmaid.
But she doesn't care, right? It sounds like the 17-year-old doesn't really
Sister
give a
doesn't
shit.
care.
She's like
It's
a
the mom.
spoiled brat.
Also, like, she's a spoiled
mother's
brat because
issue.
she's talking about these issues she's had with her in the past. That's when she was 16 years
Yeah,
old.
yeah.
Like,
As a
welcome to,
teenager.
like,
Yeah.
adolescence. It's
Totally.
fine. I don't think that... I give this 16-year-old a pass. Like, fine, she was a brat to you and, like, a hormonal brat. Like, okay, maybe she'll grow out of it. So by the time we hit 19, hopefully she's a little more chill. But also, like, I don't know, I was a mess at 19.
Right. I know.
So, do you guys, I guess the short answer is, should she be forced to put this girl into her bridal party? Pam?
Oh, I mean, I think one of the things that we often say is, this is your future. This is forever. Like, it's just one day. And, you know, I still stick by that. I don't think you are being a bitch, but I'm actually surprised. One of the things that caught me, I don't know why I'm reading this, is that you've already booked your hair and makeup appointments for something that's 2 years away.
Did she book it, or did she just kind of say that's what we're going to do that?
Consultation or something.
Oh.
I don't know. I mean, you're right. She could definitely grow up in that time. Both of them could grow up. You could also grow more together during that. 2 years is a long time I mean, I don't think it's fair that the mother-in-law is bullying her into that. And I think she's kind of bucking even more because of that. I think our bride might be a little more open if it wasn't for the mom being such
Agreed.
a bully.
I wish that the mother-in-law had written us to be like, how can I convince this bride to let my daughter into the wedding? And it would be, stop being such a dick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Create organic situations for them to bond.
Yeah.
Right?
Totally.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, no, I mean, right away, I feel like, you know, this is a long ways away. And it's interesting to have that she's having this conversation now. I guess it's nice that they see that there's an issue. But I'm a very firm believer. It's like, you know, this is your day. So you need to, you know, I think strategic and make sure you don't want to burn any bridges along the way. But you definitely want to make sure that you're doing what makes you happy. And if that, like, literally including her is just going to make you unhappy that day, it's just having to have a more stern conversation with the mother of the family.
Yeah.
And letting her know that, you know, we'll find another role for her. You know, in some sort of way.
I just think about
those pictures
we had on Amanda Walker. She was a wedding planner. So Amanda Walker. And one of the things she said was, I hate her. Put her on the end. And she says
But she was like, just do it.
Yeah.
Just put her in the damn wedding.
Who cares? Put her in.
But I think of the pictures. I mean, these are the girls and guys that are standing next to you in all the, the main moments. And so it does, the brides are, picky when it comes to that.
Yes.
What they're wearing, who they're standing next to.
Well, and also like they represent your life.
Totally.
And if this 17-year-old hasn't really been in your life, but then again, she represents
your future.
Her husband's life because this is his sister.
Right.
I guess this must be the only sibling on his side of the family.
I'm curious to know if he has more.
What sucks is this.
Maybe she's the only one of age.
Yeah. What it just really sucks is that I don't think your question really is about the Okay, I think there's two different conflicts going on. One is the conflict of I have this kind of younger, immature person in my now in-law side family that potentially should maybe be in my wedding, and I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do about that. That's question one.
Yeah.
Question two is I have this insane mother-in-law. I don't want to start setting precedents where she feels like she can get her way with everything.
Yes.
And the rest of my life with her is her just bullying me around.
Right.
So I think that's two different questions.
Yes.
And I think that question A about the bridesmaid.
Yeah.
You do have at this point 1.5 to 2 years to try to find organic ways to get to know this person a little bit better.
Yeah.
Don't
and
stress.
to bond.
There's time.
And maybe you should try to go out of your way to kind of get to know her a little bit better because she is going to grow up.
Yeah.
She's not going to be 17 forever.
No.
And then this is somebody that you're going to be seeing at, I almost said Thanksgiving, but they're Irish.
Any family function.
Yeah, Christmas and birthdays and Easter and
Holidays.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Holidays, whatever it is that you guys are celebrating or like getting together. It sounds like he's pretty close to his family if he sees them so much and the mom's calling so much. So if there's a chance that the odds of you being super tight with his mom sounds slim to none, which I get.
Yeah.
But the odds that you can find an ally and a buddy in this 17-year-old and kind of get in early and put a foundation down, maybe. I'm optimistic about that relationship.
I forget, did she say how many bridesmaids that she was having in total?
Four.
So
this would make 5.
yeah.
I think
Not too big of a number.
just chat it up with the teenager a little bit. See if you can sort of
And there are other roles, like, if she doesn't want to,
junior
like...
bridesmaid. Do they do
junior
that shit in
bridesmaid.
Ireland? I don't know. They do that shit here.
Or you know what? Or
They
give
do,
her
yeah.
give her like the first person they see. Like, I don't know, make her station at the welcome table, and have her greet all of your guests and show them to the give her a role. Make her feel special.
Or you have a long time. You have a long time. 2 years is a long time.
Very long.
You don't have to make a decision. You may know in your head you want 4, but give it time and just tell the mom, like, oh, we haven't decided. I thought I wanted 4, but I don't know. I still have 2 years. I haven't decided yet. I mean,
They have
those
time to pick the
bridesmaids are not
outfits
buying
and-
dresses
Yeah,
right now
yeah,
because in 2
exactly.
years they may not fit.
Exactly.
Will this argument, will the conflict with the mother-in-law really go away if she does this one thing?
No, I think it's going to be
Right?
consistent.
I think it's this mother-in-law has conflict in her anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
she's
whether
got it
you
kind
do
of out
this
for
or
her.
not,
Yeah.
she's going to have conflict. So I think now we're moving on to question B, which
Yes,
is
how to deal
what
with
do
the
I
mother-in-law.
do with my combative mother-in-law
Yep.
that I am now married into? This is
Yeah.
my life. I will say, I like the fact that your husband-to-be sticks up for you, gets on the phone with his mom and is like, what's going on? Blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't like that you did that. I think that's really cool that you guys are already on the same page and he's not blind to the fact that his mother has some faults.
Yeah.
But I think that you're smart in the fact that you're trying not to fight with her. And I think that you should always, my advice, especially with in-laws, is you do not fight with your in-laws. It's never worth it. It's never worth it. Things change, people grow up. In general, if there is a conflict, you give it to your husband to deal with it. You deal with your family, he deals with his family, or whatever relationship dynamic you have. That's how this works. But I think that, maybe you have a sit down with her to be like, I don't want our relationship to be constantly fighting.
Right.
You know, I don't know if you need to use some I feel statements with an in-law, but maybe you do. And maybe you should have your husband to be present. But to have like a sit down to be like, you know, I really worry about the long term. Like, I want to have a good relationship with you and I don't want to keep having the same argument over and over again. Can we come to an agreement on a few things? And maybe if it... Sam's doing the cutest little sneezes. Do you love her sneezes?
That was so cute.
They're always the cutest.
That was.
And she does her little hands up at her face, and she goes.
She was trying so hard.
my goodness.
So adorable. I hate her adorable sneezes. Mine are so ugly.
No, that was super cute. I can't handle.
Oh my god,
Pamela, you're too cute.
I hope we keep that in this.
Yeah. Oh, are you kidding me?
yes,
they're
Brooke
the
will keep
cutest.
that.
I'm editing.
Yeah.
They're staying in.
Okay,
Everyone's
cool.
gonna. If you weren't in love with Pam anyway, the sneezes will just
This
win
will
your
sell
heart.
ya. Yeah, I love it.
But don't you think that the big issue is also she needs to talk to this mother-in-law in general about like, I don't want to spend my life fighting with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if that conversation is going to patch everything up, but I think that you at least showing your husband that you're trying and that you genuinely are trying to do it is something that you need to do sooner rather than later.
Well, I think he needs to be a part of it too.
Yes, agreed. And it needs to not be angry and shouty. It doesn't need to be like no alcohol in the room, a pragmatic like conversation of just like, hey, trying to come from a good place of peace and thinking long term of I want to get along with you. I want to be a part of your family. I want you to respect my boundaries. I want to respect yours. Where can we meet in the middle and see where you can get with her? Because sometimes it might be that you just kind of guilt her into being like
Calling her out.
a little bit, and not in an angry way, not in an angry phone call, in person. I don't know if it'll work. Sometimes it doesn't, but at least you can say that you tried.
No, but I mean, she's trying every which way. You know, if somebody leaves the room and then she starts pouncing and talking to somebody and trying to get her fiance, like this mom is trying to break them up. That's kind of how I feel.
She seems like a tough cookie for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You think she's trying to break them up?
Yeah.
Pam brought an element of drama.
Ooh, or just definitely not making it the easiest for her, it seems like.
Well, I think that she's very much my way or the highway. And there's probably a lot of dynamics that have happened in her life over the years that she's bulldozed people and gotten her way.
Sure.
And you're this very
Irish,
quiet person who's throwing her. And she probably thought she could bulldoze you.
Yeah.
And you're not. It doesn't mean you need to be bulldozed.
Exactly.
But yeah, at least have another firm your ground conversation with her that's very polite. But I do think you need to give the 17-year-old a chance.
Agreed.
Take her out to lunch.
Something. Manny
Take her
and Teddy.
to like a fun girl movie. Ocean's 8 is out right now. Do something fun.
I love a good like nail session to like decompress. You know, maybe someone come over and give you a little massage. You know,
Yes.
You know, you can sit
But
next
you
to
can
each
keep
other.
it short and sweet too.
Yeah.
Just do something quick, hang out for a moment,
Yeah.
and do that a few times.
Buy her
and
coffee.
See.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get to know her a little bit.
Yeah.
And away from everybody else.
Yeah.
So that you are kind of stuck. And she's forced to talk to you. She'll warm up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
for sure.
I have faith in the teen. I don't know why.
I feel like time is going to heal everything about
Yes.
this bride. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She has time on her side. I have good vibes.
Yeah.
And also, if you get the teen on your side, then the teen,
Yeah,
you know,
it's your
starts
advocate.
telling her mom to back off.
Totally.
Yeah. Okay, you ready?
Yeah,
That
you
was
ready?
a long one. Sorry,
Yeah.
that was just so complicated.
It was.
It was
a lot.
intense. It was
Okay.
intense. All right,
Good
number
luck.
2.
Yeah, and let us know how it goes. That's another
Yay.
thing. Damn it, listeners. You keep giving us all these cool questions and we answer them, and then nobody gives us
No?
follow
the
up
Oh
Give
my
us
God.
the follow
Only
Or
up.
at least
follow-up we
tweet at
got
you guys or
was
We
something.
did get one.
about the color of the dress.
We
I want
did.
real follow up, guys. I
That
want to
was
know.
hey, that was real, and I was proud because I got it right.
Yeah, she guessed the color of the dress right. Was it
Yay.
lime green? So okay, you ready, Pammy?
Ready?
Okay, you ready, Justin? Here we go.
Yes.
Story number 2. Dear Brooke, Pam, Ruth, and guest. First, thank you for the podcast. It's hilarious and full of important snippets of advice. And for me, a British listener, a fascinating ethnography of American weddings. I'm going to have to add that to the vocabulary. Paul gave
Wow.
us a vocabulary word. And now we have a new one.
I like it.
So obviously our listeners are smarter than us, and I'm comfortable with that. I have tons of wedding stories, as I have worked in museums for a decade and have worked at hundreds of weddings. In the UK, you have to marry at a licensed venue, so museums are the main non-religious option for weddings. Saturdays are busy. Oh, I didn't know that.
I didn't know that
That's
either.
very interesting.
Yeah.
However, I have just had to tell you about the best/worst best man speech I have ever heard.
This is going to be good.
Yeah. I was a guest at a university friend's wedding in rural Cornwall. The vibe was very traditional, the small C conservative. It was in the community's family church, and there were lots of older relatives at the wedding itself. We were quarantined to one of the uni friends tables near the back. Those are, by the way, the best table. That was my table at Adam's wedding, because I went to college with him, and I was definitely the rowdy table in the back, and I regret nothing. Listen to Paul's episode to hear more about that.
Mm-hmm.
So the best man gets up to give his speech, and he did an excellent job. He said the bride/bridesmaids were beautiful, made some very light fun of the groom, and was entirely respectful of the old school churchy audience in attendance. Until the last line. He ended with the following: I wish bride and groom all the best for the future and hope they have a wonderful honeymoon in Maine. At least that's where I think they're going. He said that after the wedding, he was going to bang her for a week. Translated for America, he actually said the honeymoon was in Wales, but the original town for banger is. Oh my God. The room was stunned.
Oh my God.
Our table paused in shocked silence for a second and then screamed with laughter. To be fair, the bride did also. The groom and the rest of the guests, however, not so much. Love the show, and I'm now planning my own wedding. Absorbing your wisdom every week. I only have one complaint. How could you talk about wedding movies in episode 45 without mentioning 4 weddings and a funeral?
Oh, truth.
Take care. Keep up the excellent work. Oh my God, 4 weddings and a funeral is very good.
Yes.
The amount of using the word fuck in the beginning.
Oh, it's amazing.
Clearly we love that movie.
Yes.
Oh my God. Okay, so
this is hilarious.
So I just want to point out something. When this story came in, you know, we get the emails, then they're submitted, and both of us share that email address so we can see things as they come in.
Yes.
I read this submission, and I was literally cuddled up in bed, about to go to bed, reading it on my phone, and I didn't get the joke. Because I'm so dumb. Because I wasn't reading it out loud. And I don't know. Yeah. And because my husband is
Your
from
husband
Maine.
is from Maine.
So
you didn't get the
I'm
joke?
like, Bangor, Maine. And I'm like Bangor, Maine is like, it's just a city to my brain. I didn't even get the joke. So I passed the phone to my husband. And I was like, do you understand what's going on in this story? And he read it and he was like, yes. Are you stupid?
It's so funny. I can see how the entire room could just be laughing for a hot second.
Oh my God, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
I want to make a dirty joke.
It seems like it wasn't intentional, or it was by accident.
Oh, it's very much intentional.
Very much intentional.
Oh yeah. I like the idea of doing a super classy speech and then going blue
Couple
right
puns.
at the end.
Yeah.
Right at the end.
Yeah.
Because you may have those few guests that don't get it.
Like me. Yeah. Because I'm dumb. And I was like, what happened?
Oh God.
I'm an idiot, guys.
Oh my God. I loved this.
Yes. And please send us more things as you get deeper into your wedding planning, because you sound like fun.
Yes.
And that's really interesting about the England using museum thing. I learned something.
It has to be a licensed venue. Yeah. I mean, where I got married in a backyard.
Yeah,
that was not licensed.
No.
Yeah. My husband's apple orchard was not licensed.
No.
We
get married wherever here.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're very loosey-goosey. Crazy Americans. You ready for number 3?
Yeah, let's do it. Justin.
Yay, number 3. Okay. Dear Wedding Confessionals, full disclosure. I realize this confessional is going to sound like a rant, but at least I'm ranting to you ladies, right? So here's what's going on.
Just us ladies.
Just us ladies
and
tonight.
gents. Ladies and gents.
And Ruth somewhere.
I know. I think she left.
Oh, she left.
Oh, yeah.
See, here's what's going on. My fiance and I are getting married this upcoming October, and we have been engaged, had our wedding date for 2 years. My cousin got engaged a year after us, and his soon-to-be bride is a nightmare. She also wanted an October 2018 wedding, but when the family told her that wasn't a great idea because she already had an October date, she set her wedding for September 29th, 2018. Seriously?
Bitch.
Since then, she has been crazy and controlling. She's told me that I'm not allowed to use the color blue or serve donuts at my wedding because she is marrying a police officer, so she has dibs on all those elements. I'm not going to get into a fight with her over any of this, but I'm correct in thinking that she's a nightmare, right? Love the podcast from It's My Party. I'll have donuts if I want to.
I'm just imagining having some argument where at some point you're going, only I can have donuts.
Yeah.
Right. Who says that?
That's so fucking weird. No, you're allowed. She sounds nuts.
She's crazy.
It's crazy. Now I see why donuts are so big to her. The husband's a police officer, so I think that's kind of funny. But like, I literally, donuts are a thing right now.
And blue is in too.
Yeah.
Amanda told us per
Yeah,
really?
the wedding colors.
Blue and gold are very big. They're having a
You
moment.
don't get to just commandeer gold.
So what?
Blue.
I mean,
They were bidding for the October date, and then she
it was
just kind of
set a
did a
year
little
before.
jab. Yeah.
oh my God.
Yeah, to do it on the last day of September.
Just a little jab.
And I love it was like the family that was like, hey, yeah, there's already an October date.
I mean, here's the
Come
thing.
on.
On one hand, I think you should troll her and just show her pictures of blue bridesmaids dresses that aren't real, just to like.
Give her like an inspiration page of everything that's hers.
She's a cousin, right? She's
Yeah.
married a cousin.
She's
Wonder if it's like a
marrying
fourth
a
cousin.
Oh yeah, you'll
Yeah.
never fucking see this girl again.
Yeah.
Listen, it's fine. I guess don't do donuts. Who cares?
Yeah.
She sounds very sensitive. Also, this is where I get a little inappropriate. She sounds like she has a little bit of a cop kink. She's really loving this cop thing a lot.
She wants it to be a theme wedding for sure. Blue.
Yeah.
Into the cop
like police
thing.
blue, police donuts.
Handcuffs are
I love
in
it.
their relationship.
Oh,
For sure.
daily. Daily. But, there's
it's
donut walls, there's
fine.
donut cakes, there's you can have a little, if you're watching I Want That Wedding, they had like a little donut vendor that came in and made donuts fresh right on site.
Yes.
So maybe you just kind of switch it up a little. You do it like a they have
have
literally
a funnel
Do something
cake.
else. Do fun
Just
or
do a
churros
cake
or
Yes,
do-
I love the
there's
idea of
plenty
churros. Okay,
other-
please do churros if you're listening.
I'm just hungry, so churros sound
yeah,
great.
a little mini churros with a bunch of fillings.
Yeah,
and
Yeah,
I
stuff.
mean, you
That's a
can
cute
get
little-
around this
Donuts.
girl's craziness,
Be
but
nice and don't do the donuts. She's being stupid.
Well, I
Laugh
guess
at
her
with
thought
friends.
is, they're
We're with
her
you.
wedding's gonna be September. The
But, like, who
same
gives a
some type
shit?
of like the same crowd is gonna be there than at her
Some
event.
of the same crowd. It's a cousin.
Yeah.
Who cares?
yeah.
Also, if you genuinely asked me like what somebody wore to their wedding, like what
Yeah.
the bridesmaids' dresses were, and I was
Right.
just a guess, I'm not
Right.
gonna remember.
Right.
No.
Right?
No.
Like I'm trying to think. Adam and Barry got married about like a couple weeks ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
Over Memorial Day weekend. I cannot. I knew they were in suits. I can't tell if they were gray or blue or black. I can't remember.
Totally. No, there's
It's
a
like
lot
they
of
lo-
elements that
I remember
just
they
kinda
looked
goes past you.
nice.
Yeah.
and it was cute, and it's fine.
I think at weddings you remember if you were comfortable, if you were fed, if you got a little drunk, if you had a good overall good time.
Right.
Those are kind of those.
Listen,
pinpoints.
you're not crazy. She sounds like a nightmare,
Yeah.
and you're a super nice person.
Aw,
and
that was a
we
really
agree
good
with
write-up.
you.
But you can have a little fun.
Yeah. Oh, you wanted to troll her a little bit,
Yeah,
just like
maybe.
one donut.
Maybe just a little.
Or like have a
Please.
donut
You know, when
cake.
somebody's that crazy, I can't help
Yeah.
myself. You
Oh
gotta
my
poke
gosh!
a little
I
bit.
just won a
Yeah.
contest. My wedding's being sponsored by Krispy Kreme.
I die. Yeah. Oh my god.
Oh man. Okay. Well, that's all the confessionals, guys.
Oh, they were so good.
So
That
now
was
we're on to
fun.
bridal breaks.
Woohoo!
Bridal breaks are suggestions we give not only to brides, but anyone helping to plan a wedding of fun stuff to do that has nothing to do with weddings so that you can take a break from dealing with your RSVP list and your pushy mother-in-law to be and enjoy your life. So Pammy, you want to go first? What's your bridal break?
I do. Well, today's bridal break is kind of brought to you by Brooke Murdoch. Because Brooke went to the store and she saw some bottles that look cute.
They were so pretty.
And
They
she's
are.
like,
They're adorable.
Listen, I was in Target. We've all done the thing in Target where we think something's cute and we're like, well, I guess I'm buying this.
So she sends me a picture and
I was
she's
supposed
like,
to get
look
toilet
at what we're
paper."
getting. She's like, we're going to try this tonight. So we tried it. It is called Crispin Rosé Hard Cider, which do those really go together? We've got rosé and hard cider. So we all tried it tonight. Brooke is, as you hear, a no.
Well, here's the thing. It's I don't understand what it is. It's apple and pear juice and aromas of like rose petals and hibiscus, and it's pink and the label's really pretty. What did you think it tasted like?
It's very easy to drink. You know, it's definitely not hard. It's very easy.
It didn't taste like alcohol.
No.
Which is dangerous.
Yeah. It was.
Did you like it, Justin?
I liked it. When I first tasted it, I was like, this is just like a scented, just like a flavored little water.
Kind of tasted like soap.
Yeah. It did. It tasted like a mineral water that had like a rose petal taste to it.
Yes.
If Brittany had brought this for like our British viewing of the royal wedding, I would have been like, oh, this is a perfect rose water.
Yes.
And I think because we heard the word rosé, we all have in our brain what rosé is. And then we heard the word hard cider. We all have in our brain what that is. And then we drank this liquid and we were like, neither of those things are reminiscent of those two things. But I say I didn't like the first taste, but
you finished
the whole thing.
Yeah.
And so did I.
I'm close.
And it was definitely refreshing. But I think that labeling it rosé hard cider was, if you told me it was a rose scented pear cocktail, right? If you put that into a cocktail
not sure
drink
if that was
with like an ice cube and gave me a straw, I'd have been like, this is refreshing.
Yeah.
But it comes in like a beer bottle.
Yeah.
And then you have that too. It's a beer bottle, a pink, and there's just a lot going on.
I'll have it again.
I mean, it only took them 30 years to put beer in a pink can, you know?
I know, right? And I bought it immediately.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go, marketing.
But I think it's fun sometimes to show up to a party, especially if it's like a small gathering like we're doing here tonight, with a mystery drink like this.
I love it.
Even if we're not promoting it as like our favorite go-to drink, it is fun to show up for a girls' night or like watching The Bachelor and like, here's a random thing, let's experiment.
Yeah. I have to shout out that two rosés that I love right now are Summer Water, which you can get at Whole Foods for like $20 a bottle, which is actually a really great price, because if you get it in like restaurants, it's like they charge you like $45, like $50.
Yeah.
And then I also love Whispering Angel, which is, I think it's like $18 in the store, but it's so worth it, and it's a really great rosé to bring to like a party. You know what I mean? That. And it's not a twist off. It's
rosé season.
Yeah, right now it's total rosé season. You know, it's so funny that I'm loving that brand called Summer Water, because Summer Water was like a term that I don't know who, but a lot of millennials use Summer Water as a term just for like your drink, whatever your drink of choice is for the summer. And rosé always was that wine. You know what I mean? And so it's cool that people are, tagging on the brand.
And that's an additional bridal break.
I know. Bonus bridal break. Cool. Okay, so we have a lot of booze. We have our random thing, and then we have two extra wines.
And Summer Water and Whispering Angel.
Ooh, okay. And then
so good. Now I'm just thinking about it.
So while you're chatting, tell us your bridal break for the week.
Oh, yes. Well, I thought my bridal break would be really cool if I talked about Glow on Netflix.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So I just started this morning.
Season 2?
Season 2.
Okay, because I've only seen season 1. I loved it.
Yeah. So season 2, season 1 was super good. I connected to it. It was really cool to see the backstory, and it's to learn that some of these are true stories, and that you really went into their research with it. It's cool. You really feel like you're like in the 80s.
What is it about?
It's so Glow is gorgeous ladies of wrestling. That's what Glow stands for. And it's just back in the day. You can actually go on YouTube and see the original, like, I guess pre-opening to the show. And it's very like, you know what Kira is? It's that app that everyone has on their iPhone that takes a picture. It's called Kira, no? So it's
add it to the bonus bridal break.
Another bonus bridal break.
So anyway,
what is a Kira
well, now a lot of people are saying like, oh my God, that's like a natural Kira. And a Kira is just like a shimmer. You know, it's like when the light catches that gemstone at the perfect angle, so that when in the picture, you take the picture, you see like a shine. Okay. You know, but it's like people,
a sunburst sort of thing.
Like a sunburst or a starburst. So like those became really popular. And so there's an app that now you can place those.
Stop bringing it back to Starburst candy.
I know, we're being full circle here.
We are.
Sorry.
But yeah, so the whole the whole trailer for that show is very Curacao, very starburst and glitzy and campy, and it's fun. And I love it. The women are all in characters. They all portray very like exaggerated women of the time, and it's cool to see women just be strong and funny, and it's a cool show. I'm really excited. And we were talking about it, the main girl, you know, she's a Franco girl now. She's married to Dave Franco, and I like the whole Franco family. I'm a big film dude.
Yeah.
So,
Allison Brie.
Yeah, Allison Brie. I think she's gorgeous, and I think she's super fun, and I really didn't think they thought this was gonna do really well. And I think people underestimate wrestling fans. You know, I worked I worked on Total Divas on E, and it was one of like my first AP credits, and it was really insane because, you know, these women work and they're athletes and they're cool.
They are.
And younger women love them, you know, and not just younger women. I mean, people show up for these women and just people who wrestle in general. So I think the fact that, you know, Netflix kind of tapped into that market, I think the women of Glow and WWE just had a crossover the other week.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, they like did some cross promotion because it's like a no-brainer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's fun to be to binge a Netflix show that you kind of have like another. Hey, girls are still wrestling more than ever, and it's cool to see back in the day how it all kind of started.
That's
the
cool.
origin story.
Right on.
Fun.
I
Glow
like Glow.
season 2.
I know, it's on my. We have to finish up.
Must binge if you haven't
No,
started.
I have to finish up Queer Eye season 2. I'm gonna
Ugh,
and then,
don't get me
then we're allowed to start. I know. Tears. Always tears. Oh my god. Okay, so mine for this week, it's a podcast called The Rewatchables. So it is from The Ringer, which is a website that covers mostly sports, but it's like half sports, half pop culture. And The Rewatchables is definitely more on the pop culture end of stuff. So Bill Simmons, who's the star of The Ringer, and he used to have Grantland and ESPN or whatever. He's a huge pop culture nerd on top of being a sports nerd. So every episode, what they do is they pull a really popular movie that everyone loves, and they rewatch it and really get into the point of like, was it really as great as you thought it was? What are the high points? What are the low points? And they have it all broken down at times in sort of like a sports nerdy way of like top 10 this or whatever. Like, it's really interesting. So I was just listening to the Devil Wears Prada episode because I was like, yes.
Okay.
And he pulls in other people that also work on The Ringer. So it's it's not the same people every week discussing the movies. Yep. He's always like the ringleader of it, but there'll be different voices coming in based on their interest level in the movie, which I think is kind of interesting. Sure. So you actually get people that genuinely care. But he covered Jurassic Park, Ocean's 11, Forrest Gump. So it's like all the big movies. Yeah. So if you just kind of, every once in a while, it's kind of nice to have a podcast where it's kind of interesting because it's smart people talking about something, but the thing they're talking about isn't super duper serious. Right. And it's something that you already have nostalgia and are happy about. So it's like, I felt like I kind of emotionally rewatched Devil's Wear Prada while listening to this episode. So anyway, it's called The Rewatchables, and the Ringer Network is the ones that have put it out.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did they like it?
You know what? One of them went in already being like a diehard fan of the show, of the movie, and she came out being like, yes. And they all agreed it was a big turning point for Meryl Streep's career.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Because it's when she started getting a little more light. Because then she started doing Julie and Julia, and then the Mamma Mia.
Yeah.
Like a whole different phase of her career.
Interesting.
Whereas before it was just Oscar bait. She was still nominated for an Oscar for that. And she was
fabulous.
She was amazing in it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Miranda Priestley is iconic.
Yes.
It's super
Please move at a glacial pace. You know how that thrills me.
Yeah. I mean, there's quotes.
God.
And Patricia Field did the styling of that movie.
They talk about the fashion in it.
Yeah. I feel like the fashion was a huge part of that movie.
Yes.
And I love Stanley Tucci.
Yes.
His role was fabulous. But House of Field did a great job with styling. That was a
and they talk about like the pinnacle scene. Like there's a couple things they hit in every episode of things that they need to like figure out what it is. Like who is the rising star, who was this,
or what about Emily Blunt? I mean, she had a huge push after that show too, and even Anne Hathaway. It was a huge role. It was a huge movie.
Yeah, it was huge for Emily Blunt. This is her first thing.
Yeah,
she was fantastic.
She's a nobody.
Yeah,
and she killed it.
Yeah, she did.
Are her and John Krasinski still together?
Yeah. They were in that Whispery movie,
Quiet Place or whatever. Yeah, I need to see it. Yeah,
Whispery movie.
They did it together. It was like a Cannes Film Festival moment.
Yeah,
I love it.
So that's Brattle Breaks, y'all.
Good.
Yeah,
I like it.
Oh my god,
we did it.
Thank you so
Thanks,
much for being on our show, Justin.
Oh, thanks, ladies. It was so much fun.
The hell out of all of your stuff now.
Oh, I don't have so much to promote, but I appreciate you having me. You know, everyone can follow me on social, Justin Max, and it's kind of fun because everyone listening probably is totally thinking about weddings, and so you can totally hit me up, DM me with any like fun stories or questions, and I can try to help you out and share my experience.
Yeah.
It would be fun to hear from the wedding confessional listeners.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So, and then I Want That Wedding is still on TLC.
Yes. Please, Saturday nights, TLC. If you haven't seen it, you can go on the TLC Go app. You can catch it on demand. It's all over social media. But yeah, I Want That Wedding. # that wedding. It should be fun.
Season 2.
Yay.
I love wedding shows.
Yes.
Yeah, it was a great team.
Fun.
It was a great cast, and everyone should tune in. It will give you an inside scoop to like weddings and what they cost.
Ugh.
I know.
Right?
I mean, that's reality, man.
Yeah, no.
It costs money.
Totally real.
Weddings ain't free.
But this was a fabulous experience. So thank you.
No, thank you for having us. Pamela is your favorite part of the show.
I love this part of the show.
The part where we promote all the different ways you can learn about wedding confessionals.
Yeah.
And we do it in a form of a quiz that Pam has to take. And she does sometimes okay and sometimes not so much. You seem to be pretty good. You didn't drink all of your rosé wine, only your rosé cider. So you should be pretty fresh and ready to go.
I'm like 1.5 in.
Yeah.
It's
You're
not bad.
Fine. You're fine. Okay, I have my pen.
Click.
Here we go. Pamela, you
Yes.
want to hear more about our show and find out more information, what website should you go to?
Weddingconfessionals.com.
Why are you giggling?
Because you sounded like a robot.
Oh, should I do it?
You're like, Pam, what?
We are
what
on
did-
social media. Where can you find us?
Yeah, I was waiting for the real robot voice after that.
Where are we on social media?
We're on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram.
Correct. I can't do this anymore. It's so annoying. We also want you to tell us your stories. So if you have confessionals you want to share with us,
Keep them coming.
yes, please.
Love them.
There are 3 different ways you can share. One is an email address. What is it?
Weddingconfessionals@gmail.com.
The phone number?
434. Brooke has the rest.
933-2663. 434-933-2663. I'm being nice to you tonight. But the other most popular way is to go to what website?
To weddingconfessionals.com.
And click on what tab?
Tell us your secret.
Tell us your secret. From there, you can leave a very anonymous form. It's just a name.
Super easy.
And then like a little box where you just tap in all the things going
Leave a
on.
blurb.
Leave a little blurb of drama and hit send. And that's it. We are on Apple Podcast /iTunes.
Mm-hmm.
They want us to encourage you to hit subscribe.
Please.
And leave us a review.
Please.
And give us stars.
Please.
Well, how many stars?
5.
We like 5 stars. We
do.
also like honesty, but Pam is really going to bully you like that mother-in-law to give us 5 stars. She'll wait till everyone's out of the room and then she'll be like, you give me fucking 5 stars.
5 stars.
5
5 stars, damn it.
Besides Apple Podcasts, Pam, where else can you find our podcast?
You can find us on Stitcher, Podbean, Player FM, oh my goodness.
Overcast, Google Play.
Downcast, Podcast Republic, Podcast Addict, Podcast Land, Podtails, iHeartRadio, Spotify, YouTube. What am I missing?
Paradise.
Pod Paradise.
Pocket Cast.
Pocket Cast.
Castbox. And
yes.
Castro.
Yes.
That's
a
all of them,
lot.
Pammy.
Woo.
Wow.
Too many.
So fun.
Too many.
Find us everywhere. I love it.
We all over the internets. That's it, man.
That's it.
Until next time, Justin.
Yay.
Thanks
Killed
for
it.
coming.
Thank you.
Pammy, I'll see you next time. Bye.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Special thanks to Andy Schreier for our adorable theme song, and to Ramsey Millay and Brian Maylard for their technical support, which we desperately needed.
Want to make sure you don't miss a single episode? Subscribe to us on iTunes, Google Play, or SoundCloud, and make sure to give us a 5-star rating, or I guess a 4 if you're being judgy like us.
If you have a crazy story to tell or need some advice, you can reach us by going to our website, weddingconfessionals.com.
Or you can email us at weddingconfessionals@gmail.com.
or leave us a voice message at 434-933-2663. That's 434-933-2663.
And as always, we will never reveal the names in order to protect the innocent and the annoyed.
Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
And if you're looking for those links, you can find those and more at our website, which you haven't figured out by now is weddingconfessionals.com.
See you guys next time.
Bye.